So, just as fast as I gave you that message of 3 to 6 months in the last video, hooray, I'm going to move quickly on into some of the things that have made me the badass BA. And, people are always looking for silver bullets. That's why everyone's gone agile and been totally misrepresented for what it can do. Uh, there are no silver bullets. The reality is, it's about skills and competency and work ethic and determination, and the list goes on and on and on. And so it's a question of what you want to put into it. And one of the things that I decided to put into, make it more a part of my life a very long time ago, was trying to absorb more critical thinking skills. Now, most people, this is going to sound very elitist or bad, most people do not employ critical thinking skills. And I'm going to say in most cases it's because they haven't been taught to. They haven't been taught the depths of what critical thinking can do for them. There's a lot of different variations and definitions of critical thinking and what it means. For me, critical thinking is about determining whether something is true or false or somewhere in between, and eliciting enough data about something to make a determination on how to proceed forward, using a wide variety of techniques and approaches that encompass both my left and right brain, so both the logical and creative approaches to that. And there's 6 other definitions I could give you. That's just my personal definition that I like. And when I got into critical thinking, I did a lot of research and I looked at a lot of books and articles and white papers and things of that nature. And I started to cobble together all these things that make it up. And by the way, you can get certified on critical thinking if you're so inclined to go to that next level, like Socrates, etc. Although Socrates never would have said etc. That's a bad thing in critical thinking, assuming that people know exactly who you're talking about. And you didn't, in fact, because you would have said, well, he was probably thinking Plato, and I might have been thinking Galileo. I might have been thinking, someone else. But anyway, the point being, as my right brain just took over, one thing that people don't understand about critical thinking is that there's literally 22 different thinking styles, and half are logical and half are creative. And so it's finding this balance between the two with your approaches and how to ask questions and determine right from wrong that makes it a little more complicated. And so being a critical thinker is not easy. It's one thing to say, I don't think that's true. Proving it out emphatically, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that's a whole nother matter. And this gets into so many different things that, of course, it takes at least 4 hours of classwork to go over. And that's just scratching the surface. So I'm not going to turn this into a lecture on what critical thinking is. What I will say is that by finding critical thinking, it has definitely made me a stronger analyst. It has made me a stronger decision maker. It has helped balance out my ability to not be as overtly emotional about things I don't need to be emotional about. So it's really helped me find perspective in situations that I wouldn't have normally, versus just coming at it, oh my God, the sky is falling. That's not the case. It's allowed me to look at things with some level of balance, things like politics, where one could argue, why does anyone ever want to go to the other side? In order to make a good judgment, you need information from both sides. And God bless my mother, because I've really been working hard with her on critical thinking. And I'm like, that's clearly not true. Where did you get that information from? And so, I teach this all the time. Several people know already, but I say if you want to be a good analyst, analyze politics to get the perspective. But there are 2 things you must not do and 2 things you must do. The 2 things that you must not do is, 1, ever rely on Fox News. Now, hold your roll before that, because you don't know what I'm saying next. Number two is never believe anything from MSNBC. See, the reason why is that they are extreme opposites and polarized, and they are run basically by pundits, and pundits are therefore opinions. Opinions are opinions, they are not facts. And so, gathering information from largely opinion based media is problematic. See, I balance both sides there. Doesn't help you with where I'm going next, but what it does tell you is that I'm able to judge something by getting perspectives across the board, which is why I have Republican and Democrat and Libertarian equal opportunists, as far as that's concerned. As long as we can all elicit data, get the information in a way that is understood and we know what's correct, and then we can make our judgments from there, then we're not going to have those arguments that a lot of people have. But if people are not able to do that, then I'm going to say they're missing out on critical thinking. The things that you must always do in this scenario is always get both sides, whether it's distasteful or not, because you cannot make a judgment solely based on one point of view. When you do, it is biased and may not have all the facts you need. So when I look at things like, criminal investigation and other aspects of that, the whole point is you got to get it all in order to make the judgment. And that's why we have the systems we have in place. Proven innocent. You are innocent until proven guilty, right? Get the facts, know where it's coming from. Please do not pay attention to media that has pundits. And if you do that, over time, you're going to realize there's a lot of very, very reliable news sources out there. The idea of fake media really is actually fake, because the fake media is being pushed by the extremes. But that's all I'm going to say about that. I will let you make your judgments after you go out, and I guarantee you're going to become a stronger person by amping up your critical thinking. Get the truth, know the difference between opinion and fact. Oh, and if I didn't say it before, and I'm pretty sure I didn't, there's no such thing as an alternative fact. Does not exist. There are false facts, and boy, that's a can of worms, which we're not going to talk about. But can't wait for you guys to research some of that and find out for yourselves.